Welcome back, YouTube. Hope everybody's doing well. Last night I made myself a little holster for slingshots. I'm by no means a leather worker, but I gave it my best shot and it came out fairly well. And I thought I would show you all how I did it in case you all wanted to make your own. Cause I could not find I wanted a leather holster because I don't like my slingshots rattling around in my pocket and getting scraped up against my keys and my cell phone and all that stuff. And so once you start getting into more expensive slingshots like this one, you don't want to get them scraped up. So I wanted something to hold my slingshot separate. I could not find one online that I liked. This is what I've been using for ammo pouch, and you can get these from Amazon for cheap. But I added the little clip here, and so I had extra clip, and I was gonna use this style clip on my holster so you can just clip them on your belt. But then I got to thinking, I don't want the metal on these pieces to scratch up my frames either. Also, when I ordered the leather from Amazon, it was thinner than I was expecting, and I was going to have to stack it like 3 deep and like use contact cement to glue it together just to use that style clip. So as convenient as I would like it, I moved away from that and just went for how simple can I make it. And so I figured I would go ahead and make another one and bring you all along the way. So, because I know a lot of you have the mats. If you make your own bands, you already have the cutting mat, you already have the rotary cutter, the leather. You get 2 square feet for $20, $22-ish, and you can make roughly 8 of these for $20-something worth of material. So if you're like me and haven't worked with leather very much, this is a good beginner project, especially the slingshot community. So a good beginner leather project. And all we're going to do, now your mileage may vary as far as what size slingshot, let me put this around, what size belt you have and what size slingshot you shoot. So I'm going to give the measurements that I'm using, but you might have to adjust accordingly. But the process for this style of simple little leather, cheap, inexpensive, no hardware holster, this is how I did it. So I'm doing a 2 5/8 inch strip. This is a foot long. So I'm just going to lay that there. Put my guide on 2 5/8. 2 5/8. I'm going to double check nothing has moved. Rotary cutter, nice sharp blade, and just same way we cut our latex. Nice smooth cut. And now, believe it or not, that is going to be enough material to make the whole slingshot. So we're going to save the rest of that for later. I'll put it behind me. And now this is where the whole measurements come into play. Apparently there are 2 sizes of belts or belt loops. So blue jeans and khakis are 1.5 inches. The belt loops are 1.5 inches. The dress pants belt is 1.25 inches. So you'll have to measure your belt to see what you usually use. This is 1.25 inches. It's a little bit under 1.25 inches. But I went ahead and made enough room in my loop to accommodate my 1.25 inch belt. But I did not allow much slack because I didn't want a lot of slop and wiggle. So if you are making one of these, you'll have to go get you a belt and measure it. And like I said, put a belt, wrap it around there, and just hold it and eyeball kind of. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to loop it around and then take a sewing machine, double stitch. So do 1 line, turn around, come back. And then I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back. Do I want to go? Well, I'll go ahead and cut my second piece. So I took to get my second piece, before I sew, I'm going to go ahead and cut my second piece. So I took the largest frame, bottom thickest that I was wanting this for, and put down. And I took a scrap piece of material and stretched over and figured out the shape I wanted. And then, like I said, I used paper for all that to get my pattern. So this is my pattern for that piece. You don't need a pattern for the rest of it. But I'm going to go ahead and just trace my pattern and get that cut out before I do any of the sewing, just to make things easier for me when it comes to running it through the sewing machine. So you will need some pretty good sharp scissors if you don't want to sit there and chew the material. I feel like Bob Ross right now. We don't want any mistakes, we just have happy little accidents. Okay. So now I'm going to double check that I like that little cut. I like that little cut. And so you can see where we're going. Literally, you loop this around, sew a double stitch seam, put this here, sew seam here, and then come down and line it up, sew a seam there. And then if you want to end there, you can. I like to take it a step further and do this little rounded part, which I literally just took this ammo holder, put at the bottom, and traced that to give me the same contour. Like I said, the Slingshot community, we like to tinker with different stuff. We're makers, and I think this is a project that is a lot of people should do, even if you've never worked with leather. So yeah, I'm going to fold this over, line up my corners, and then stitch down, rotate, double stitch. I'm going to fast forward you through that part. Okay, so that's what that looks like. Now, if you're saying to yourself, you know how to use a sewing machine? That's girl stuff. A sewing machine literally is just a power tool that men don't appreciate enough. And once you learn how to sew, you realize just how foolish it was that you didn't take the time to learn earlier. Now, if you don't know how to sew and don't have a sewing machine, this is, again, a beginner project on all levels. So for leather working, for sewing, if you're a beginner slingshotter, just getting into it, okay, one more to go. I'm just going to line this up over here and make sure my distance is equal on both sides. Trim up your loose threads, tidy it up a little bit. And then there you go. Now, while I've got the sewing machine out, I'll probably go ahead and make a couple more of these just for future giveaways. And speaking of giveaways, if you have not entered my other giveaways, I'll try to link a comment to that video. So I'm giving away a Scout LT2 and then a G10 version of Scout LT2. So I'm going to leave a link to that in this video, and go get your entries in for both of those, because I'm drawing it on July 23rd. So you still got almost 3 weeks to get entered in that. All right, but there we go. Like I said, I'm going to make up a few more of those while I've got my pattern already. But it's simple, it's effective, and it's cheap. So all right. Thanks for watching. Okay, I had a little assembly line going there and cranked out several of these. Some of them are a little bit wonky, but yeah, that's where it slipped. I didn't hold my leather exactly even, but they'll still hold a slingshot, and they will still do. So yeah, fun, quick little project. I encourage everybody, even if you've never worked with leather, try it. You'll surprise yourself with what you can do. But yeah, I'll see if I can do some B-roll footage of what they look like on my belt. Alright, just showing off my new slingshot holster.